We know lots of things about, the medical side of death and dying. And there are many books written on that kind of topic. But I wanted to tell you that this is a different sort of book. This is not a book for the physician, although a physician might give it. It's not a book for the theologian, although a pastoral care person might provide it. This is a book for someone who's dying and for those that are close to them. There can be a question about why a book for the dying. Because the resources available for the dying in the last stages of life are very few. As I said, there are tons of books on death and dying, written from a clinical perspective, or used in textbooks, or written for social workers and that kind of thing. And then there are books, wonderful books, but not so many, written for the person who knows they're dying. But they tend to be theoretical and kind of dense with text. And it is my experience that in the last weeks and months of life, that's too much. And the person isn't usually interested in reading. And what my book has instead is pages that have beautiful photography with just a brief message on each page. And I deliberately wanted a book that was going to be, for people facing death, to be lightweight, to be easy to handle. I wanted a special binding that would let the pages lie open on a flat surface any place they opened. I wanted to make sure there was 14-point font so it would be easy to read and predictable layout of the pages. And that's what we have in this book. This book is unique, and we'll talk about some of the ways that it is unique. But one of the ways it is unique is owed to my wonderful collaborator and the photographer who created the images in this book. And you can tell from just the front cover of this book that what is inside is going to be beautiful. And it is. And in fact, if you never opened the book, you'd have something beautiful to look at. But Maggie Sale is a friend of the family. She's someone my children grew up calling Aunt Maggie. She's a photographer who lives half the year in Toronto and half the year in a beautiful little cottage in England. And there are images that she has taken from Venice, from the Alaskan coastline, from Georgian Bay, from Florida in this book. And they're all nature images. She has won awards for her nature photography. She adjudicates photography competitions. Her work's been published in the States, in the UK, and in Canada. And I just had to make sure to acknowledge that this was a collaboration. In the first section of the book, the pages are basically all set up the same. They look like this. There's a photograph on each page and then a brief message underneath it. It comes to this page where there is an image and no message, but instead lines for someone to add a message. And in fact, there are 4 pages like that that have beautiful photographs and space to add a message. Something that someone who gives the book might do, something that someone who uses the book might do to make it work for them. And then a second section to the book called My Reflections. And these pages are for writing, they're for journaling. The person who uses the book might want to make a comment on one of the images. In fact, there's thumbnails of the images go down these pages. And, but they can record their thoughts. They could record a message they perhaps want to leave behind. They could, in the middle of the night sometime, write down their feelings, that kind of thing. And then there is another section as well. It's called My Pictures. And this section has pages that look like this, with space for a person to glue or tape or staple a photograph of their own. Maybe a picture of the grandkids, or a picture of the farmstead, or a picture of the view over the lake. Maybe a drawing that a child has done gets folded up and put onto this page. a little note about where it came from. Maybe prayer cards, maybe other kinds of materials. A bookmark that meant a lot had a beautiful message in it, and it gets added into this book. So that eventually this book could be kind of bulky. So it's good it started out small and lightweight. But it could become bulky with things that would turn this book into a wonderful keepsake for later on. It will make this book both a treasure at the time, where a person can just reach and know that they've got all that good stuff right in one place, but also, as I say, a keepsake for the future.